How will AI shape the future of learning? Now we're in your wheelhouse here, buddy.
Now we're in my wheelhouse. You hit us first because I got a lot
Well,
to
this is
say.
fascinating. I have an example from yesterday. Yesterday. So you may have
Whoa.
heard the government of the United States made drones illegal. Okay.
Heard.
So I don't really, it's not
Foreign
really,
made
well, that's
drones.
that there are only four made drones. So
Sadly.
I don't really understand how the drones are going to undo their little arms to actually fly and attack us on their own. But apparently people think that's possible. So fine.
Lack of
So
imagination, Ian.
drones are legal. So I was like, all right. For a while, I've been thinking about getting one of the drones that has a really good camera because I have some interest in doing some photography in the drone sphere. So I was like, I better buy this thing because they're illegal soon. So I bought
Better.
a drone. And I was like, there's a lot of stuff I don't know about the drones. I've had a little shitty one for a long time that I barely use because it's shitty. But there's like height restrictions. I actually live near this county airport. I have some other weirdo restrictions I have to deal with and whatever. So I was like, I gotta figure out how to do all this stuff. So there's photographer guy I found, blah, blah. He has a course on how to photography with drones, both like the actual photography
Cool.
as well as like the regulatory stuff and like how to deal with all that stuff. So I bought this course. I just like snap bought it, $200. And I could have gone to Claude or OpenAI and been like, tell me everything there's about drones and let's go through a million things, blah, blah.
Yep.
But I was like, I just want some videos and I just want a guy who's done it for 5 years and I just want to know
Yep.
the details. And I'm going to pick and choose. I'm not going to watch all 50 videos, right? I'm going to watch 5 of them probably or 10. But that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not totally pessimistic on the learning. I think the AI is going to change it, but it's not dead. There's still people who want different
That's
forms
nice.
and factors and human interaction and all this stuff.
Okay.
Mm.
I like that. That is
Mm.
congruent with my perhaps more
Okay.
pessimistic view, but
Okay.
it is congruent. I think what you're describing is you want someone's taste, perspective, experience, and
Yes.
prescription, right? You want somebody to say, I've done this, this is good, you should
Mhm.
do this. So you're looking for you're looking for a prescription. Do this
Yeah.
based on my experience. I think that
Mhm.
will remain. I think that kind of education is going to continue to be popular. Like, hey, I've done this a bunch of times. Here's how you can avoid all
Mhm.
the pain that I've gone through. I think that's fine. Um, and that is what I hope to offer some of at database school, which is like, hey, I've read all the docs, but I've also experienced a lot of these things. And listen, when you get here,
Right.
you want to
Yeah.
do this, not that. Um, I think the thing that is like dead and done and over is like how to implement
Right.
logins in
Yeah.
Laravel. Like that I think is
Yeah.
100% dead. So like the cool low level, like how do signals work in Angular? I think those are over. I think I think it's
Hmm.
gone. Like you even look at like YouTube content, I think is kind of a leading indicator. It used to be that like pure coding
Right.
tutorials did pretty well, and they've all
Yeah.
fallen off a cliff because people don't want to sit down and watch 30 minutes on a specific, or even 20 on a specific like code thing, when they can just say, hey Claude, implement
Right.
Laravel logins, hey add the remember me, hey add two-factor. And it's like, I
Yeah.
don't need to know anymore. So I think that's where we're headed. I think there will be a bifurcation of like pure technical know-how that is going to get commoditized away, and more like taste, vibes, experience, opinions, basically, that is going to remain.
Um, I I mean, I think in general that's correct, but I think that's a little there's some subtleties in there, like mostly about like I think for like the main line, that's true. Like the bulk, that's true, right? But then I
Okay.
think there's like the edges where it's not true. So like in photography, for example, a lot of the well-known photographers do workshops. So it's like 8 people. We
Hmm.
fly to Oman and it costs you $5,000 each.
Cool.
And you get to work with
So
me in
fun.
Oman on your photography, right? And so you're getting like something a little more special, a little more bespoke, a little more advanced, um, and like an experience tied up in it, right? So like you're not gonna get
Sure.
that from the AI, right? Okay, great. On the
Right.
software equivalent to me is something like, and I think this is still a pretty broad market. Again, we come at this sometimes as like we are building a side project. We are building a little thing for us. I think that though, if you work in a big company and they say, hey, we need two-factor authentication, I don't think, hey, Claude slapped this together is sufficient. And I don't, right? Like I think people don't want
Probably.
to get
Yeah.
fired because
Yeah.
it wasn't sufficient and they got fired because somebody got through there in 2 seconds, right? So I think
Probably
there's
true.
like this advanced training and probably in combination with AI of like, yeah, we all know you're gonna have AI write the first pass at this, but here's the real high level weird things that like AI is trained on a bunch of blog posts of like people building basic websites, and it didn't think about in a two-factor auth, this and that and the other thing, and the weird skeezy hacks and workarounds that you as the human need to be aware of and checking for and all that stuff.
Hmm.
And how you're cross-checking your AI generated code to make sure this thing and that thing. So that's why I think there are some opportunities there still of like, yeah, I don't want to get fired because Claude did this for me and it sucked in some subtle but important way. So there's something there.
I think that is true. I think that's true and accurate. I think I think that's
It is.
specialized, and I don't know what delivery
Yeah.
mechanism or format that comes in. It's not
Right.
YouTube videos. I know that much because nobody's going to make a YouTube video on advanced 2FA if they get
Yeah.
100 views. That the
Right.
incentives are just not there. So maybe the desire and the need sticks around, but I don't know who fulfills it and by what
Well,
means.
it's more of an enterprise
But I
thing.
agree. I
It's
agree
more
with
like,
you.
right? It's not YouTube.
Right.
It's we have this course. It's $5,000 because it's like all the advanced stuff that
Right.
AI screws up all the time that you don't want to screw up. You want all your devs to use AI, but you don't want to be exposed to all these screw ups. And we're going to teach you how to
Right.
avoid the pain points of AI. And you're paying $200 a month across 50 developers for them to have Claude Max. So what's 5 grand? It's nothing. Like you should buy this thing for
Right.
5 grand. So yeah.
Yeah. I think we're both saying the future of at least uh online education gets a lot tougher. I
Probably.
don't think I don't think education is dead, but I think the low
I
hanging
think,
fruit is
yes, the
long
like,
gone.
I just show up and here's how Laravel works, that stuff is toast. Like, you need
It's
to be more
over.
specialized, more
Toast.
niche. You need to have probably a stronger, compelling
More
case,
more interesting, more funny,
whatever, some
more
angle on it.
creative, something. But like, hey, I read the docs and discovered this. I think
Yeah, which to me then
that's
implies, like,
over.
not so much on the funny, entertaining end, but more on the, like, nuts and bolts. You're gonna pay a lot of money for this because you wanna make sure
Sure,
this is
different things
secure
though.
and this is
Yeah.
serious business, right? Serious business trademark. You're gonna pay me a lot of money, but now your devs are gonna make sure you all don't get fired by doing something stupid with AI, and that's what we're doing.
Yes, I think that is true for the enterprise stuff. I think for the
Yeah, the YouTube
YouTube
stuff's kinda
stuff,
weird.
what I was
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
that's
I
what I
think
was
that's a
talking about.
different
Like,
spot.
you gotta do
Yes.
projects and
Right.
do fun and interesting
Not just
things instead of just
entertainment.
hoping that you can be
Yeah,
a
yeah,
good
yeah.
educator. Yeah, I
You're
think
you
that's
gotta be more
toast.
Primogen. In
You
that
do
sense, not that you have to actually copy him, but
in
yes.
that sense, yeah, not in the yelling sense.